Why Johnny Whitaker still refuses to watch this one episode he filmed. In 1966, Johnny Whitaker was born John Orson Whitaker Jr. on December 13, 1959, in Van Nuys, California. The fifth of 8 children of Thelma and John O. Whitaker, Sr. From an early age, Johnny's natural charisma and earnest presence before the camera marked him as a standout talent. With striking red hair, a charming smile, and an undeniable screen presence, he captivated audiences and quickly rose to prominence in an era where television was rapidly becoming a dominant cultural force in American households. Johnny Whitaker began his professional acting career remarkably early, at just 3 years old, demonstrating a precocious talent and charm that quickly caught the attention of advertisers. His very first job was in a television commercial for a local used car dealership, marking the beginning of a lifelong connection with the entertainment industry. Even at such a tender age, Whitaker displayed a natural ease in front of the camera, an ability that would soon lead him to more visible and widespread exposure. His early work in commercials laid the foundation for a diverse and prolific career as a child actor, where he quickly became a familiar face to American audiences. As Whitaker's profile grew, he began appearing in national television advertisements for Mattel Toy Makers, one of the leading toy companies of the time. He was especially remembered for his endearing performances in commercials for Mattel's Animal Yackers toy line, voicing characters like Larry the Lion and Crackers the Parrot. These toys were interactive and animated, designed to speak when a cord was pulled, a novelty at the time. And Whitaker's animated and enthusiastic delivery made the toys even more appealing to children. His voice work and expressive mannerisms in these commercials were instrumental in the success of the Animal Yackers line, helping to establish him as one of the most recognizable child faces on television. By 1965, Whitaker's budding career had moved beyond commercials and into television drama. That year, he landed the role of young Scotty Baldwin on the daytime soap opera General Hospital. His portrayal of the character, who would go on to become a long-running part of the soap's narrative, was notable for its emotional range and believability. This role allowed Whitaker to demonstrate his acting skills in a more dramatic context, showcasing his ability to convey complex emotions and hold his own among seasoned adult actors. Whitaker's career reached another milestone in 1966 when he was cast in a major Hollywood feature film, The Russians Are Coming, The Russians Are Coming. The film, a Cold War-era comedy that poked gentle fun at American paranoia and Russian stereotypes, starred Brian Keith, Carl Reiner, and Alan Arkin. Whitaker's role may not have been large, but his performance left an impression, especially on co-star Brian Keith. Keith was so impressed with Whitaker's talent and professionalism that when he was later cast as the lead in the CBS sitcom Family Affair, he personally recommended Whitaker for the role of his on-screen nephew. This endorsement would change Whitaker's life and solidify his place in television history. Family Affair, which aired from 1966 to 1971, became a cultural touchstone of its era, and Whitaker's performance as Jody Davis was central to the show's popularity. The series told the story of a sophisticated bachelor, Uncle Bill Davis, played by Brian Keith, who suddenly finds himself the guardian of 3 orphaned children. Whitaker played Jody, one of the twin siblings alongside Anissa Jones, as Buffy, and Kathy Garver as the older sister, Sissy. The children lived with their uncle in a lavish Manhattan apartment, along with Mr. French, Sebastian Cabot, the proper and kind-hearted English butler who added charm and stability to the unconventional family. Interestingly, Jody and Buffy were originally written to be of different ages, but the producers were so captivated by the chemistry between Whitaker and Jones, who looked adorable together, that they rewrote the characters to be twins. Whitaker's warmth, humor, and ability to convey vulnerability made Jody one of the most beloved child characters on television. While working on Family Affair, Whitaker also continued to take on other roles, demonstrating his range as an actor. In 1968, he guest-starred on the legendary Western series Bonanza in a heartfelt episode titled A Dream to Dream, which was written by series star Michael Landon. The episode, which also featured the acclaimed actress Julie Harris, allowed Whitaker to show a deeper, more emotional side of his acting repertoire, playing a young boy in a story that dealt with themes of hope and imagination amid hardship. In 1969, during hiatus periods from Family Affair, Whitaker starred in the Hallmark Hall of Fame production The Littlest Angel, a touching television special based on the popular children's story. He played the titular angel, a role that required both comedic timing and emotional depth. He shared the screen with well-known actors Fred Gwynne and Tony Randall, holding his own in a cast of veteran performers. That same year, he also appeared in an episode of the long-running Western series The Virginian, again showing his ability to adapt to different genres and tones. Whitaker's versatility extended to fantasy and comedy as well. In 1969, he appeared in Bewitched, the hit magical sitcom starring Elizabeth Montgomery, in an episode titled Samantha and the Beanstalk. He played Jack, a modern-day twist on the classic fairy tale character. The following year, in 1970, he appeared in the rural comedy Green Acres, first playing a character named Willie in The Confrontation, and later portraying Dinky Watson in another episode titled The Beeping Rock. That same year, Whitaker also starred in a faith-based film titled A Day for Justin, produced by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, reflecting his personal connection to his religious upbringing and offering him a more introspective role as the title character. Following the end of Family Affair, Whitaker continued to find work in television and film. In 1971, he appeared in a memorable two-part episode of Gunsmoke, further solidifying his reputation as a capable and experienced young actor. In 1973, he transitioned to Saturday morning television with a lead role in Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, a Sid and Marty Krofft production. Whitaker played Johnny, a boy who befriends a misunderstood sea creature named Sigmund. The whimsical and fantastical show became a hit among children, with Whitaker's friendly and approachable persona being a key factor in its success. His co-stars included Billy Barty, a legendary character actor, and Scott Colden. During the early 1970s, Whitaker also appeared in several feature films, particularly with Walt Disney Studios. He co-starred in Snowball Express, 1972, a slapstick comedy about a family inheriting a dilapidated hotel. The Biscuit Eater, 1972, a touching story about a boy and his dog, and Napoleon and Samantha, 1972, where he shared the screen with future superstar Jodie Foster in her film debut. These roles further expanded his fan base and demonstrated his ability to carry both comedic and dramatic scenes. In 1973, he achieved one of his most iconic roles, playing the title character in Tom Sawyer, a musical adaptation of the classic Mark Twain novel. His portrayal of the mischievous but good-hearted boy was widely praised and remains one of the most cherished performances of his career. As Whitaker grew older, he began to take a step back from the limelight, transitioning into roles behind the scenes. In a later interview with Tom Snyder on The Late Late Show, Whitaker revealed that he had once worked as a computer consultant for CBS, showcasing his adaptability and intellect beyond acting. He also became involved in the management side of the entertainment business, joining his sister's talent agency, Whitaker Entertainment. Through this venture, he worked as a talent manager and even managed former child star Dana Plato, who was best known for her role on Different Strokes. His work with Plato demonstrated his continued compassion for other former child stars and his understanding of the unique challenges they often faced. In 1999, Whitaker was honored with the Young Artist Former Child Star Lifetime Achievement Award at the 20th Youth in Film Awards. This recognition was a testament to his enduring legacy and the impact he made on generations of viewers. It acknowledged not only his acting accomplishments, but also his grace in navigating the difficult transition from child star to adult professional. In 2012, he returned to entertainment in a new format by co-producing and co-hosting a radio talk show titled The Dr. Zod and Johnny Show. Though short-lived, the show allowed Whitaker to connect with fans in a more casual and personal setting, showcasing his warmth, humor, and insight into Hollywood. The following year, in 2013, Whitaker returned to the stage, appearing in the Judson Theater Company's production of To Kill a Mockingbird. He played the cameo role of Judge Taylor in this acclaimed adaptation of the Harper Lee classic. The appearance marked a return to his acting roots and demonstrated his continued passion for performing. In 2016, Whitaker made a nostalgic return to the world of Sigmund and the Sea Monsters with a cameo in Amazon's reboot of the series. In the premiere episode, he portrayed Zach, a grumpy boat owner who provided a humorous counterpoint to David Arquette's quirky sea captain character, Captain Barnabas. The reboot paid homage to the original show by including cameo appearances from original creators Sid and Marty Krofft as well. For longtime fans, Whitaker's return to the world of Sigmund was a heartfelt reminder of the charm and innocence that defined his early work. Decades may have passed since Family Affair first aired, but for Johnny Whitaker, who played the beloved and wide-eyed Jody Davis on the classic sitcom, the emotional echoes of one particular episode from 1966 still linger. To this day, Whitaker has steadfastly refused to re-watch that specific installment, and his reasons go far deeper than simple discomfort or artistic critique. That episode, often remembered by longtime fans for its unusually heavy subject matter and poignant tone, marked a turning point not only in the show's narrative, but also in Johnny's personal life as a young actor navigating fame, grief, and emotional maturity in front of a national audience. At the time, Johnny was only 6 years old, a tender age for any child, let alone one suddenly thrust into the bright and often unforgiving spotlight of Hollywood. While Family Affair was known for its light-hearted storytelling and heartfelt messages, the episode in question, titled Mrs. Beasley, Where Are You?, was emotionally charged and centered around the possible loss of a beloved toy, the iconic Mrs. Beasley doll, symbolizing the children's desperate attempt to hold on to something stable after losing their parents. Though the storyline may have seemed trivial to adult viewers, for Johnny, it struck a raw nerve. The episode required him to convey intense sadness, fear, and vulnerability, emotions that, according to later interviews, mirrored his own unspoken anxieties as a child actor grappling with separation, uncertainty, and the intense pressure to perform. Behind the scenes, the filming of that episode proved to be particularly difficult. Whitaker, who had formed a close and almost familial bond with his on-screen sister Anissa Jones, who played Buffy, found it emotionally taxing to act out scenes that forced them to confront loss and the fragile nature of comfort and security. The episode's themes reminded him all too vividly of the pressures and emotional toll of growing up in the industry, where expectations were high and private feelings were often buried beneath rehearsals and retakes. According to Whitaker, he struggled with the emotional intensity the script demanded, and while the director praised his performance, it came at the cost of emotional exhaustion. He later revealed in an interview that the tears seen in the episode were very real and came not only from acting but from a wellspring of deep, unspoken emotions he wasn't prepared to confront. Adding to the discomfort, Johnny has shared in recent years that this episode inadvertently became a symbolic reminder of the complicated relationship he had with his childhood stardom. For many child actors, early fame can be a double-edged sword, and Whitaker was no exception. That particular episode became, in his words, a capsule of pain, a time in his life when he felt both seen and unseen, cherished by millions, yet isolated behind the polished smiles of Hollywood sets. Watching it now, he says, would be like reopening an old wound, a return to a moment when he felt vulnerable, overexposed, and emotionally unprepared. Furthermore, the episode also marked one of the earliest times Johnny began to see the depth of Family Affair not just as a television show, but as a mirror of personal realities. The show's underlying themes of orphanhood, substitute parenting, and childhood resilience often mirrored unspoken truths in the cast's personal lives. After the tragic death of Anissa Jones in 1976, memories of their shared childhood on set became bittersweet. That particular episode, which featured some of their most emotionally intimate scenes, became even harder for Johnny to revisit. He has since confessed that the episode, while beautifully acted, is forever linked to the sense of loss he felt not only in the script, but eventually in real life. To this day, fans often ask Johnny if he ever watches reruns of Family Affair. While he's happy to celebrate the show's legacy and grateful for the role it played in shaping his early career, he always draws a line at that one episode from 1966. Not out of shame or regret, but because for him, it's a chapter that represents the raw, unfiltered reality of childhood vulnerability, something he lived through in real time, not just on screen. In a career spanning decades, filled with both highs and personal challenges, Johnny Whitaker's refusal to watch that episode is not a sign of weakness, but a powerful act of emotional self-awareness. It's a testament to the complexities of being a child star and a poignant reminder that sometimes the most difficult stories aren't the ones written into scripts, but the ones we carry quietly in our memories.